Bitcoin is looking stronger by the day as we approach the halving in April. CoinStock is on fire as Coinbase prepares to announce earnings tomorrow. And Riot Platforms, along with pretty much all Bitcoin mining stocks, are unsurprisingly looking great. So I'm excited to take a look at all the names that I just mentioned with you guys on the charts, talk to you about where I think prices could be going into the month of March, even into April, and really just celebrate because the markets are absolutely showing us some love on this beautiful Valentine's Day. My name is Royce Jacob, and welcome back to Waves Capital. All right, you guys, so before we get into all the news and the charts, I want to quickly read over this, just do a little bit of celebration. It's been an amazing month of February so far over at Waves Cap and in the portfolio, and I'm just really excited for what's to come. So our beloved small caps and growth stocks are getting the Valentine's Day rally they deserve. Yesterday's sell-off tested the mental fortitude of investors everywhere. If you guys were playing the markets yesterday, I'm sure you noticed that after the CPI report came in a little bit hot, the markets really took a tumble. And now they are recovering. And if you managed to stand your ground while others fell weak, then this resurgence in portfolio gains is well-deserved. Bullish on small caps and growth stocks and bearish on mega caps and legacy stocks. This has been my base macro thesis for months, and it will continue to be as we move into the month of March. What a comeback. You better get an extra nice bouquet for your ladies or your mans and treat yourselves to some steak and lobster dinners as well. Cheers to another great day, team. And once again, I'm really excited for the waves that are ahead of us. And today, I'm even more confident than I have been in the last couple of years, if I'm being completely honest. So, cheers, you guys. Go eat a great dinner. Treat your loved ones to some good food and some good drinks. And once again, cheers. If you want my daily newsletters, this is this morning's trade alert, obviously, and a complete breakdown of my entire personal portfolio if you want to join Waves Capital, if you want to become a member. And as always, existing members, please share your experience below in the comments. And, those testimonials always help a lot. So that would be appreciated. But if you're not yet a member or you don't know how to trade options, then go learn how to trade options first, because we primarily trade options over at Waves Cap. If you want to become a member, then click the first link in the description of this video. It's my complete portfolio and daily trade alerts and email newsletters. You get everything that this box here entails, all for a price of $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. Try it free for 7 days. It's really completely up to you, but I trust you'll be sticking around. That's why I give you guys the free trial. Give it a shot. I can't imagine you'll be unsubscribing, especially considering things are getting so exciting. And I look forward to seeing you inside. It's appreciated if you do sign up. Once again, it is the link in the first description of this video. But if not, no worries at all. I appreciate you watching right now. Bitcoin halving is coming up pretty soon, you guys. I'm recording this on Valentine's Day, February 14th. We are currently 66 days away. Obviously, if you're watching this at a later date, it's going to be sooner. But just know that it's scheduled for April 20th. That's 420. Could it be more appropriate for an asset like Bitcoin, right? So that's exciting. Bitcoin halving coming up. We're looking extremely strong on the charts. We'll just go down the line here. We'll take a look at Bitcoin right now, let you guys know what I'm thinking. Read over a real short kind of article discussing what could potentially go down with the Coinbase earnings report, while also discussing, which I feel is incredibly necessary, some potential red flags that are not even, beige flags. We'll go with beige flags, get with the hype terms. Beige flag as we approach the earnings report tomorrow. And then we'll close it out with Riot Platforms on the charts. Okay, obviously we'll take a look at coin after reading over this article. So Bitcoin right now, looking great. We broke above 50K. I was saying to pretty much everyone in the newsletter over the past couple of weeks that was really my personal I'll get excited target. Like, I'll get excited when Bitcoin breaks above 50K, because it also will break above a few levels of resistance. So I'm just going to zoom out here, you guys. I do think that by this weekend, as you guys are watching, that Bitcoin can climb another 5 to 6% to the $55,000 region. And as we zoom out, that'll make more sense. So let's actually go to the daily candles right now. I'm going to zoom out. Bitcoin. I mean, I guess you could consider this to be resistance, which we're getting pretty close to on this uptrend. But I don't think that counts, you guys. That's a barely even a touch point if you're drawing a trend line. This comes nicely in line with the line of support on this shorter term ascending channel. Line of resistance, this yellow line, this orange line is the line of support on this more medium, shortish term ascending channel. And I think we just broke above that. From here, my targets are the lines of resistance on Bitcoin's long-term macro megaphone channel. Called the megaphone channel, of course, because it extends out. It gets larger as it goes on, looking like a megaphone, of course. Okay, so I have two lines of resistance drawn here. One is my conservative line of resistance. That's using more touch points, using solid candles on this way up to create the line of resistance. The second, which I do actually believe will come into play because just the momentum, the fundamental momentum behind Bitcoin, risk assets, growth stocks, small caps, etc., is just incredibly strong right now. So I do actually think that this line will come into play. We'll just meet in the middle just to play it on the safer side. I think Bitcoin can rally, we'll say 10 to 11% by the month of March to, I'll say $57,000 to $58,000. Okay, that will be my March 1st price target for Bitcoin. All right. And that also falls in line with kind of my targets or where we could potentially be topping out. In the short term, at least, see a short-term correction prior to more upside, not only in Bitcoin, but for names like Coinbase and Riot. So just kind of keep that in mind. And if you guys are trading names like Coinbase, Riot, Mara, any Bitcoin miner, always keep an eye on Bitcoin as well. Don't just play the mining stocks or just don't just look at the charts of the crypto-related equity that you're trading. Take a look at Bitcoin because, especially Bitcoin miners obviously track the price of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's falling, it's going to be tough for Bitcoin miners to climb. Okay, so just keep this in mind. Bitcoin, once again, $57,000 to $58,000. Let's take a look at Coinbase after. Oh, this is the very bullish scenario. Just keep that in mind. But let's read over this Coinbase article first. Okay, so Coinbase reports strong earnings. ETF benefits may surprise Wall Street, analysts say. Coinbase is expected to report strong revenue numbers given an uptick in crypto trading volume towards the end of 2023. There's obviously a lot of hype and momentum going into this earnings report. Again, the stock is up 14% today. That's absolutely bonkers. Keep in mind, I guess we did correct yesterday, but this 14% rally going into earnings, especially after Coinbase has rallied so much. I mean, I almost can't even continue that sentence because this looks so much like a two-wave pattern to me. So I'm pretty excited about this. Like, technically speaking, well, this has to be a strong buy. Yeah, strong buy. Always the cherry on top when the TradingView technical meter shows a strong buy on it. And we're looking really good going into earnings. Keep in mind, you guys, when anything rallies going into earnings, it's always going to be sketchy. I mean, playing earnings at all is pretty sketchy, but technically speaking, Coinbase could not be looking stronger right now. This is also in mind. Also keeping in mind, I don't know why I phrased it like that, while also keeping in mind that, once again, growth stocks are looking great. Bitcoin is looking incredibly strong. I think Bitcoin rallies in the short term. And Robinhood just announced earnings and they beat expectations. On top of that, the ETF benefits may surprise Wall Street. So let's read over this, quit ranting, and then we'll dive into the charts and talk about that potential upside price target. Coinbase is expected to report strong revenue on Thursday when it reports fourth quarter earnings after the bell. Analysts predict a strong quarter for the crypto exchange as trading volume had picked up in the final days of the year. FactSet Consensus estimates Coinbase revenue increased to $826 million from $674 million in the previous quarter. Trading volume and earnings per share are also expected to have picked up. Okay, so if you guys are trading Coinbase, for full transparency, I hold Coin common shares. I do not hold Coin call options, okay? I do, however, hold ARK Innovation ETF or ARKK call options, pretty sizable positions, couple pretty sizable positions actually. And the largest holding within the ARK Innovation portfolio is currently Coinbase. So in that sense, I do have some indirect exposure to Coinbase through options, but I don't hold any direct coin options, okay? I just want to make that clear. Just want to be straight with you guys. If you do want to know which ARK call options I have, once again, first link in the description, just had to slide that in there. But, Coinbase, everything, I shouldn't say everything, if Coinbase wasn't rallying today, then I could almost say that everything is playing into a pop in share price upon this earnings report. But, a 14% rally the day before an earnings report, it has to raise, once again, some beige flags. So I will just say proceed with caution. Go read more articles. Go look more into it if you're choosing to trade Coinbase through this earnings report. And this goes for really any stock you'll ever play through earnings, okay? Just do as much DD as you possibly can, due diligence. All right, so Coinbase on the charts, again, looking really good. Saw this massive run up over the past, really over the course of 2024 so far until about a week ago. We've been looking rough. The markets overall have been correcting. In this past week, we've seen a reawakening, not only in crypto, but growth stocks overall. Obviously been amazing news for the portfolio. But right now, it's, again, from a technical perspective, it's really difficult to say that Coinbase isn't poised for more upside. At the very least, I also see this guy. They changed this up a little while ago. There we go. Boom, arc. Let's get this inverse head and shoulders pattern drawn. Okay, so we have a little inverse head and shoulders-ish pattern like shaping up here because we've now achieved the top end of the opposing shoulder. Okay, so in my opinion, if I'm being honest, again, this is just my opinion, always just my opinion, Coinbase, in the worst case scenario, is going to end up, we can go 4 hours here to make this look a little better. In the worst case scenario, delete that one. Don't want two heads. In the worst case scenario, I think Coinbase comes down a little bit, maybe test the lower end of whatever the low end of this other shoulder range was, around 145. Maybe retest this line of support as a new resistance. I think that could be the worst case. That maybe that happens tomorrow before the earnings report. I'm just speculating. But ultimately, I think from there we go sideways. And then in the worst case, Coinbase just ends up coming back up to the $187 region in order to play out this inverse head and shoulders pattern. Okay. So again, I don't want to say this is the worst case scenario. If Coinbase just flops on earnings, and the stock will probably fall, potentially back into the double digits below $100. But I think that's, in my mind, the worst case scenario, because I don't think Coinbase's earnings are going to be bad. They just might not be great. In that case, we come sideways, travel sideways for a week or two, and then come up to resolve this inverse head and shoulders pattern back up to the previous high we saw in late December, around $190. Okay, best case, if Coinbase, I shouldn't say best case, but this is a very optimistic scenario. In the case that Coinbase impresses heavily upon their earnings reports, then I think that the stock could come up to test the line of resistance on this. This is kind of a megaphone channel too, but just long-term resistance been in play for quite a while. Sorry, I'm speaking so quickly, you guys. I'm trying. I just want to make this as timely as possible for you. But I do think that Coinbase can test the top line of resistance on this macro megaphone-ish ascending channel. And if that's the case, then I do think that we could climb as much as 38 to 40% all the way up to 220 by March 15th or by mid-March, okay? With that in mind, this area, maybe not 220, 215 has acted. The 205 to 215 region has really kind of been a historical floor or ceiling range for Coinbase. So I'd be careful around there. That this is also when, if we do pop this high, investors and traders, specifically like quants, who are technical traders, are going to be looking at this line of resistance and taking some profits, obviously front-running the crowd before we actually test that trend line. Okay, so that's also important to keep in mind. If you're playing trend lines, don't get greedy. Just sell a little bit before, like a couple of percent before, maybe even 3 to 5% before it tests that trend line, just to front-run the competition, because everyone's going to be looking at that trend line. Okay, so that's Coinbase. Let's close this out with the OG, our number one Riot Platforms. Riot looking great. Extremely unsurprising given the strength of the overall market right now. Okay, so Riot Platforms looking beautiful. I will say that in the short term, Riot is approaching my first pop target. These whole areas right here were really my short-term bounce range, but because Bitcoin and growth stocks, small caps specifically, have been outperforming most, obviously Riot is thriving right now. So bounce targets looking great. That said, a real bounce target of mine, I'll go to hourly just to make this a little more visual. Okay, line of support on a pretty short-term ascending channel that Riot was in at the beginning of this year. You can see, boom, boom. This green line right here is the line of support on that ascending channel. Broke below, pretty much crashed. Right now, I do think that it's very likely that this line of support comes into play as new resistance, okay? As of today, we are only about 3.5-4% away from testing this line, okay? If you have any Riot, I would recommend, and you haven't taken any profits yet, I would recommend, and always know you guys, I do very similar things. I take profits. I took profits today, to be honest. If we climb another 3 to 4%, I would recommend skimming at least 5 to 10% off of your position in the case that you haven't already taken profits. Don't get greedy. Take some profits, okay? Always remember that. That said, I do think that if Bitcoin does continue to rally, if Bitcoin even approaches new all-time highs, then I think it's very possible that Riot, by maybe not March 1st, but by mid-March, makes its way up to kind of both the line of support and resistance. These end up coinciding in mid-March, but I just have this in March 1st. Could potentially come into play. Again, in the case that Bitcoin goes bonkers, in the case that Bitcoin reapproaches new all-time highs, I think Riot could rally as much as 50% up to 25 to 27 bucks by mid-March. And a big factor in just my incredibly bullish sentiment on Bitcoin, Bitcoin miners, Coinbase, crypto-related assets, growth stocks, everything, is the fact, once again, that the Bitcoin halving is now in 65 days. Okay? So we are getting extremely close. Times are getting exciting. I look forward to riding more waves with you guys. And again, you guys, congrats on a freaking amazing few days. It's been some ups and downs for sure, but overall, we're looking great. I'm excited for the months ahead of us. I was going to say the month ahead of us, but really the months ahead of us. And, party ain't over yet. So for the last time, if you guys want to join WavesCap, if you guys want to become a member of the Trade Alert group and the portfolio group, it's the first link in the description. Welcome to the team if so. If not, I still post these videos every once in a while. So until next time, you guys, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.